I think deep work is a massively underrated skill in our society, and I would think 80 to 90% of people actually never have done deep work. Let's get started with my personal story about deep work. So I got kicked out of school twice, and I had to prepare for my A-levels exams completely alone. That means I had to learn 3 years of school in about 3 months while I was working full time, while I was hosting events, and while I was hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a week. So that may sound like a flex, and it is a little bit, but I want to share my lesson that I learned. Before I started to actually prepare for the exams, I read a couple of Cal Newport's books, and his newest book is called Deep Work. But his books at this time were How to Become a Straight A Student and How to Become a High School Rock Star. Both are very great books and have been a blessing for me. And he already was talking about deep work. He was bringing up examples like J.K. Rowling, who rented a luxurious 5-star hotel for 2 months just to focus on the new Harry Potters. Because at home there were kids and there were the dog barking and it was just too much distractions. Or another businessman, he could focus best in first class, so he took a plane just to work. Literally, he took a plane just to work. He went, I don't know, New York, London, London, New York, back and forth. However, most of us can't afford to book a first class flight just to do the work. But it shows how powerful deep work can be. And it was also for me. I learned deep work during that time, and I was able to learn so much in such a short period of time. So let's not get distracted here and focus on the important things. How do you achieve deep work? Deep work is when you focus so much on a task that you forget time and room and everything around it. And it takes it depends on how good you are, it can take about 7 to 15 minutes to actually achieve the deep work state. So now I'm asking you, when was the last time you actually focused on one task for 15 minutes in a row? And by focused, I mean you have not looked at your phone, you have not even peeked at your phone, you have not looked into other tabs, you're not getting any notifications, you've just studied, you've just done the work. Some people do deep work when they are very stressed with the exams and it's just like 2 or 3 days left, night before, and they are just forced to do deep work. And that's a valid strategy. But maybe you don't want to have all that stress. So how do you get started with deep work? There's a very, very famous tactic which is called the Pomodoro tactic. And I think it's a great start for deep work. Because the way it works is you focus 25 minutes on a task and then you have a 5-minute break. And we all addicted to social media, to all the messages that come in regularly. So if I'm telling you, hey, you can't watch your phone, you can't look at your phone for 8 hours or 3 hours, that sounds impossible, right? But if I ask you to not look at your phone for 25 minutes, that sounds manageable. And then after 25 minutes, you can look at your phone, you can respond to your friends, and then you do it again. And each 25 minutes you do is one Pomodoro. And that tactics is used by a lot of people. And there's no magic behind the 25 minutes. Ideally, you would be in full focus work for 1 hour, 2 hours, or even more. The standard way of doing this is you do 3 Pomodoros, which 5 minutes break, and then you do 1 where you have a 15-minute break, where you can have like grab something like. But that's not all. In those 25 minutes, your phone should be not in your point of view. You should not be able to see your phone, even though it's silent, even though it's turned down. There are studies that your phone would always remove your focus. And even when you do your first Pomodoro, don't expect to actually achieve the deep work state. But if you keep doing and you build a work ethic of not getting distracted, because to be honest, most people have a work routine where they're just distracted all the time. And that's why it takes them 8 hours. If you live in a Western country, you can afford that, to waste 8 hours on a task that you could do in 1 hour, but you could also be 7 hours with your friend or do sports or whatever you want. It's really that powerful. Deep work is so underrated. So basically the challenge is you want to build up a habit of when you're doing tasks that you focus purely on that task. And the Pomodoro technique is just a technique to get that done. Once you're good with your work ethic, you can get rid of the Pomodoro technique. I don't say there's any magic with it. If you don't feel like you can do 25 minutes, start with 20 minutes. But you need at least 25 minutes to be able to achieve the the focus state wants the deep work state. And immediately you increase the time. And there are super cool apps that track your total focus time, your total work time. And that's also a little bit of gamification, which helps further to push yourself. And I challenge you to spend 6 hours in total, and it can be over a week, in those Pomodoros. And then let me know how it worked for you. It's been a blessing for me, and it changed my work and study life forever. And I think I can still improve a lot. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you subscribe to my channel, that would be more than amazing. However, I'm gonna keep making videos. See you next time.